Hey guys, welcome to today's video. It is a fun one because it's get ready with me with a twist. We are going to create this beautiful, colorful look here using some of our favorite beauty influencers' favorite products. I am doing a full face of beauty influencer favorites. I was inspired after watching Kelly Gooch shortly after our Creators and Friends trip. She uploaded like a drugstore version, and then it reminded me of maybe a couple months ago when I saw Angie do a video like this where she talked about some beauty influencers' favorites, and then as I was messaging my girlfriends and kind of getting some favorite products together, Samantha and I were reaching out to each other at the same time because we had this idea to film a video like this and do favorites. So I reached out to her, she reached out to me, we shared favorites that way. So of course I'm going to have all of the content creators listed down below, including the videos that I just referenced. But if you want to get ready with me, if you want to see what these products are and what some of your favorite beauty influencers are loving, why don't we go ahead and jump in. But first, if you're new here, hello and welcome. My name is Kelly and I love all things makeup and beauty. I love talking, I love makeup, I love talking about makeup. So if you like to chat about makeup too, I would love to have you subscribe and be part of the K fam. But why don't we go ahead, I'm gonna zoom you in and we're gonna get started. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. If you're thinking, Kelly, your hair looks wet, no, it is. It is wet. I just got out of the shower, but I'm typically one of those people who like showers at night and then I just braid my hair because I'm lazy and sleep in it like that. And you know, that's my normal hair routine. However, I did take a shower and I'm trying to wear my hair scrunched a little bit more. My hair is like just kind of wavy because if you don't know, I have a daughter, Brielle, she's 4 and she's biracial and she has super curly hair, and she already at 4 is in the I hate my hair phase and mommy, you have straight hair, I want straight hair. So no, mommy doesn't have straight hair. That's what we're doing here. But let's go ahead and jump into the video. I am super excited to share these favorites with you. So first up is primer. And I reached out to my girl Linda from Glitter Fallout. I was able to meet Linda on the Creators and Friends trip. I knew who she was and I've been subscribed to her for a while, but she was more of like a friend of a friend. And then we got to meet each other on the Creators and Friends trip. Let me show you the primer and then I'll talk about her some more. She chose the Auric Glow Lust. I have the shade Morganite, so I'm gonna use that as a primer. I actually already had this in my collection. So I was super excited when I got to meet Linda because, you know, she was one of those people where I felt like I kind of already knew her just because, you know, friend of a friend, we're both really close with like Heather and Angie and Karen. And so, you know, I had followed her for a while. I was excited to meet her, but when we did see each other, we like both ran up to each other right away and hugged each other. And we were like, it's so nice to meet you. And I was thankful for that because I, had maybe like commented and chatted with her here and there, but nothing, like we hadn't really gotten to know each other on social media or anything. So it was just nice that we were both, it was like a mutual excitement to meet each other. So I love Linda so much. I'm going to have everyone's channel, of course, listed down below, but I reached out to her about primer because I know that she has dry skin like me. So I was like, let me get this hydration in, let me get my base started. And I was really excited when she mentioned the Auric Glow Lust because it was something I already had in my collection. I don't use it as a liquid luminizer, but I don't typically put it all over my face like a primer either. I typically just go like in the high points of my cheeks and like, you know, a little bit on the forehead, maybe like a little bit in the center of my face, which sounds like my entire face, but I put a little bit more than I normally would here. Then we are moving into foundation. This foundation was new to me. Let me tell you the product first and see if you can guess the influencer. So this is the Kokie foundation, the Skin Perfect HD foundation. Now, I did pick up the shade 20W. This is said to be a mid-coverage natural finish foundation that offers flawless high-def perfection in every light. Shake well. I am super excited about this one. It is definitely drugstore price, so love that. Love that you can find this at the drugstore. I ordered mine online, but I think when I looked online it said you could get it at Walmart maybe. So drugstore foundation, I do not have a ton of those, and this was a recommendation from Kelly Gooch. Super excited. I was actually influenced by Kelly. She recently posted a video, but it was beauty influencers drugstore favorites. So of course I'm gonna have that listed down below. I'm just gonna pump some of this on the back of my hand. I have not tried it yet. So I was watching her video and I was super inspired to kind of recreate that, except not necessarily drugstore. This looks like it'll be a good shade match for me. Kelly was also like, let me know if you want to know my shade match because we may be similar, and she thought she was either 20 or 30W. I went with 20 and it actually looks like that's gonna be a great shade match for me. So I saw Kelly do this video. I thought that would be fun. I feel like Angie did a video like this a while ago too. And now, I know Samantha March, we're reaching out to each other about the same thing. I know she just filmed a video like this as well. So I was super inspired by these ladies. I think this is like it's a fun spin on a get ready with me, trying some of my friends' favorite products. So I reached out to Kelly for foundation because, again, she has dry skin also. So although I am in a different climate, Kelly, surprisingly enough, not only do we have the same name, we're both from Michigan, but she's in New York City now and I'm in Texas. So we do live in a different climate, but my skin is still dry. So I was like, let me get this base down. Let me reach out to my dry skinned gals and see if we can get a base going. I was excited to try this out. I have heard Kelly talk about this before on her channel, so when she mentioned it, I wasn't surprised. I know she's done some Koki videos before, and you know, I was just in the market to try a new foundation, and drugstore price, like, I'll take it. Upon initial impression, it definitely is giving me more of a natural finish, which I like. I would say that this is more of a light coverage, which I do prefer light to medium coverage. It says that it's a mid-coverage natural finish. I'm feeling like it's a little bit more of a lighter coverage. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take another little pump on the back of my hand, and I think we're just going to do a tiny bit more and see if we can create a little bit more coverage. Now I'm just doing that for the sake of trying a new foundation. I think this coverage would be perfect for myself personally. It doesn't feel drying. I am getting a nice glow from the Auric Glow Lust. I cannot tell you if it's from the foundation also or just the Glow Lust, but I am really enjoying this. You can still see my freckles through the foundation, so I don't think that I would say that this is medium coverage. I would say it's on more of the lighter end, but I'm not going to continue to build it up. This was probably about a pump and a half, and overall I'm happy with the coverage the way that it is. So I'm gonna go ahead and say very comfortable on the skin, like the way that it looks, but definitely more of a lighter coverage, because I don't know if you guys can see, but I can still see my freckles through the foundation. Okay, so I am back with brows done. I did not ask anybody about brows because I have to create a brow every time I do them. So we can say these are my favorites. I have my ABH products, my Brow Wiz, my Brow Definer in Caramel, and then I have the Patrick Ta Major Brow Lamination Gel. So, created a brow. Next up, we are going to do concealer. We're gonna do face first and end with the eyes. That's typically how I do my makeup in general. I probably should do my eyes first, but we're gonna keep going with the face. Okay, concealer. I may have cheated a tiny bit. So when I was reaching out to my friends, asking them for their favorite products, I would give them a category. So I reached out to Kelly first because I was inspired by her. I said, can you tell me some of your favorite foundations? She gave me a few. With concealer, I had already made some purchases for this video. So I did a strategic ask, and I was watching Morgan Turner's top 3 in every category, and I saw that she really loves the Pat McGrath concealer, and I actually already knew that about her. So I reached out to Morgan and was like, hey, I'm doing this video. Can I use your Pat McGrath concealer recommendation as the concealer for me so that I don't have to repurchase it? And she said yes. She was like, that is what I would love to recommend to you. So Morgan Turner loves the Pat McGrath concealer. I also enjoy this concealer. I have the shade L5, except I wish I had L4. I don't know what shade Morgan uses, but I know that this one is a little bit deeper than I would prefer. So I typically do go in with a concealer that's a little bit lighter and just add it to it. But for the sake of this video, we'll just do it like this. I also have some cream products coming up. I'm gonna use my BK sponge. Again, nobody told me to use this sponge. It's just a favorite for me. And I'm going to blend out that concealer. I like this concealer because it's creamy underneath my eyes. Again, dry skin, I can get dry under eyes, but it also gives me good coverage and it doesn't settle into my 35-year-old fine lines. So it works great for me. It's comfortable, it is expensive, but it does the job, you know? It does what I need it to do. Okay, so we're not gonna set with powder yet because I reached out to Lauren May Beauty and I asked her what her favorite bronzer is. Lauren is another creator who I got to meet at Creators and Friends, and she told me that she enjoys the NARS Laguna. She said Laguna 01 in the cream bronze. Now I did get Laguna 02. I considered 01 because Lauren and I are both fair, but I tend to be an over blender and I can like blend it away, and I like my bronzer a little bit deeper. So I did actually go with 02 instead of Lauren's recommendation of 01. We'll see if that was a mistake or not, because like I said, I am very fair like Lauren, but I'm gonna use, what is this? The Luxie 512 Small Contouring. I'm just going to dip into it. I don't know how much to get because I'm not really into creams, and we're just gonna, ooh, okay. We are going to stipple this on here. I have followed Lauren for years. I was super excited to meet her at Creators and Friends, and let me just tell you, she was such a gem. I feel like she's so creative. I love watching her videos because I feel like she always comes up with really like creative and innovative video concepts. It's not always about like the new, it's using what you have in your collection, using products you already know and love. And so I was really excited to meet her in person. And let me tell you, she was so genuine and kind and sweet. I was actually telling her, Lauren lives in LA, and I was telling her that my best friend from college moved out to LA a year ago. This smells good, by the way, kind of like a cocoa scent. I am actually glad I got 02 also, because you can see I tend to be like an over blender. Like it's blending in good, but it doesn't look too deep, I don't think. But I was telling Lauren about my best friend moving out there, and Lauren was like, well, if you ever come out to LA, let me know, we should hang out. And I was like, girl, yes. But she was so kind and sweet. And it's funny, if you watched any of our vlogs from the Creators and Friends trip, there were a few items during our white elephant gift that were a hit, but Lauren brought this body scrub, the Way Body Scrub. I actually had it at one point, and then Angie stole it from me. I think Angie was the one who ended up with it, but everyone wanted that Way Body Scrub that Lauren was talking about, and it was a hit. She really said that she loved it so much. We were all smelling it. It smelled delicious, and I did actually end up purchasing one. I don't know if it's the same scent that she had. She made a post on Instagram or in her story and said that it was 50% off at Ulta one day, and so that's actually where I purchased it. I purchased it from Ulta. And so now I have the Way Body Scrub in my collection, which is also a Lauren May Beauty made me buy it. So I am excited to try this more. This is a product, I'm just gonna go around the edges, that I had wanted to try, but again, I'm not like huge into the creams, but everybody I know that talked about it mentioned loving it, and I don't think this shade is too deep for me. I feel like my lights are a little bit bright. Let me turn them down. I turned it down a touch, so hopefully that's better. But it looks nice. I don't feel like it's too dark. And I feel like with the 01, I probably could have built it up a little bit more, but I think 02 will work for me. Again, I mean, I'm light-handed, so I probably could have kept building it up, but we have a powder bronzer too, so we'll leave it at this for now. Before I go in with my powder bronzer, I do have a cream blush as well, and it was funny because I reached out to Simbri Thinks on Instagram, one of the creators of the Creators and Friends trip, and I was like, Simbri, tell me one of your favorite blushes. And her response was, okay, but don't hate me. And I was like, oh no. What did I get myself into? She recommended Westman Atelier, Cochette. I don't know if that's how you say it. That's how I would say it. Cochette? Cochette. She recommended this Westman Atelier blush, which let me tell you, I've been wanting to try Westman Atelier. I have not had the opportunity to do so. They do have a lot of cream products. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of do this. I have not tried them yet. I've wanted to, but I have not. So I wasn't upset when she gave me this recommendation. Although I don't typically, I'm going to wipe a little bit on my hand because I feel like you get some foundation when you put it directly on, but that's my preference. This also super weighted. Holy cow. But this looks like a Kelly shade. I'm going to go in with my BK Beauty 112 and I'm just going to blend this in. This definitely seems like a Kelly shade. I can get down with this shade. I like the neutral type of blush shades. This one doesn't feel quite as liquidy, and it is blending in nicely. You can see it is blending in nicely, but I don't feel like it's blending away, which is good because I'm telling you, I can blend product away. This one is a little bit creamier. I do have some on the back of my hand, so I'm just gonna pick it up on my brush and kind of add that to what we have going on the cheeks. I wonder if it's any different if you blend it out with a sponge. Let me take the clean side of my sponge here and just dab this in. I mean, I feel like it's doing about the same. I don't feel like it's necessarily blending away. That's kind of my issue with creams, is I feel like I blend them away. But I feel like you can see the pigment here. It looks nice. It's a nice natural blush. I feel like I could even build it up if I wanted. Let me try taking just like a little bit more on the brush. I'm just gonna add a tiny bit more. It applies well that way too. Now this is all before powder. I don't know how it would apply after powder, but so far, this is a pretty shade. I'm not mad, Simbri. Okay, now it's time for powder. For powder, reached out to another dry skinned gal, and I reached out to Amanda from Makeup Just for Fun, and she recommended the MAC, and I haven't tried a ton of MAC complexion products, the MAC Mineralized Skin Finished. Now, I picked up the shade Light Plus. She actually said that they run a little bit light, and she recommended medium. She said that's what she uses, and I feel like I probably should have gotten medium. I actually thought I got medium, but I ordered it online to pick up in store at Ulta, and it was Light Plus. But I can see this is very light, but I know Amanda has dry skin, so I was like, I'm reaching out to you, girl. I'm gonna go in with this BK 113, and I'm gonna get, whoa, okay, picked up too much here. I'm an amateur. I typically use loose powder underneath my eyes, but I'm going to use this underneath my eyes. Just tap, okay, tap. And I am going to powder my face a little bit, but I wanted to do the creams first. I love Amanda. We got to spend a lot of time together when we were in Charleston for the Creators and Friends trip. She is hilarious. She's super friendly and outgoing. She invited us all over to her house, so I'm gonna go over there. She said she would make us all a charcuterie board, and and wash our towels. So I love Amanda. Again, I followed her for a while, and she also makes fun jewelry. I have her, I'm gonna powder my forehead too. I have her I Love Banks shirt. I've actually had that for a while, so I was excited to meet her in person and excited that she was just as sweet in person also. Okay, so I did say that I had a powder bronzer also, and if I do go in with cream bronzer, I do typically use a powder bronzer also. You don't have to. That's just typically what I do. So I reached out to my friend Molly, Makeup Molly. I have been friends with her for several years now. I love her so much. I've talked about her before. Went to her house in Michigan, got to spend more time with her on the Creators and Friends trip. She told me to. First, uh-oh. I hear my son. Okay, you can probably see my Sonic drink in the background. My mom just got home, my mom and mother-in-law, with my son, and they were trying to bring groceries in, so they like set him in his bouncer, and he lost it. So I went out there, I fed him, we're good. I was talking about Molly. She recommended 2 bronzers to me. She said one of her favorites is the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, which I have not tried yet. I've been wanting to try. I've heard such good things about it. I know it's like an OG YouTube fave. But she also mentioned the Tarte Park Avenue Princess, and I actually have that one in this Precious Gems cheek palette. It is right here. So I do normally go in with 2 bronzers, especially if one is a cream, and I like to kind of go over it with a powder. I don't want to cover up that blush, so I'm just going to kind of focus it back here, and we might honestly see, this kind of smells good. We might honestly try and see how the blush does on top of powder too. I don't know why I like to do powder bronzer on top of cream. I mean, I don't do creams a whole bunch, but anytime I've ever done a cream bronzer, I always go over it with powder. So that's what we're gonna do, but Molly and I have been friends for a while. We talk on Marco Polo all of the time. We have 2 young children. My daughter is a little bit older than her son, I think by like 8 months, but then her daughter Penelope is older than Quentin. I think Penelope's about to be 2. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure Penelope is about to be 2 in July. And then of course Quentin will be 1 in August. So it's just nice to be able to like have someone in the same stage of life as you, because you know, one thing about being an adult is like, I feel like I have so many different friend groups. Like I have teacher friends, I have mom friends, I have makeup friends, but when you have friends that are like fall into multiple categories is so special. So like Molly is a mom friend, but also she's a beauty friend, you know, and she lives in Michigan. We connected on that also. She's actually from the same side of the state that I am. We didn't live really close. I did go to visit her when I went up there one time, and I want to say maybe it was like 45 minutes to an hour from like where my family was. But I'm so glad that we've been able to connect, and she is one of my close friends here, and it's just nice because we're able to relate on multiple different topics, which I really truly appreciate and value in our friendship. I actually was sleep training Quentin the other day, and I mean, we're still working on it, but it was like the first night and I was really nervous about it, and so I was texting her and she made me feel better, and it was nice having her on the Creators and Friends trip because since I'm nursing, I had to like pump a lot, and I was just nervous about being away from the kids, and so it was nice to have her there. She's been such a good friend to me, and it was just nice to be able to experience that with her. And she's also been super helpful when it comes to like beauty stuff too, because she does social media and beauty for a career, whereas I just do it as like a hobby on the side. So it's nice to be able to have her to bounce ideas around as well. But there is the bronzer. Why don't we see how that blush does on top of powder? I don't want to put it directly on here, so I'm just going to get a little bit on the brush and just kind of tap over the powder. And I mean, I still think it looks good. I'm not seeing anything lifting. this shade actually has really good pigment. So thank you, Simbri. At least you gave me a very good shade if you're going to give me a blush that was on the pricey side. But I had wanted to try this brand out, and this shade is a beautiful shade match also. So I'm excited. And I like, because even though it's a cream, first of all, it doesn't feel like tacky or dewy on the skin, but also I feel like creams disappear, and this one I can see the pigment. So I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it at all. So I did mention Angie, or Aniela Kanikvist. She is also one of my really good friends here. We talk on Marco Polo all the time. I've been able to meet her several times. I went out to Austin to visit her at one point in time. She came out to Houston to visit me, and then we were at the Creators and Friends trip together. She also created a video like this, so I will link it down below also. But I reached out to her for highlighter, and I was super excited because she mentioned two. She mentioned one by Tarte, which was also a cream, but she said if you don't want to do cream, if you want to do powder, try this one. So I wanted to try the powder. It is the highlighter topper called Miss Mercury from REM Beauty, and it looks beautiful here. I don't see a shade, but I feel like when I looked it up online, it was maybe like a pinky champagne shade. So we are going to use the F35 tapered highlighter from Sigma and get a little bit on there. Ooh, that's a pretty shade. It's nice because it is like a champagne shade, but it also is like blending into my skin very well. So I love that. I have really enjoyed getting to know Angie and talking to her. I love her so much because she is the friend who will literally look at you and be like, no, that doesn't look good, or yes, that looks amazing. She's like the honest friend, you know, and I love that. I love that she'll keep it real. She'll tell you how she really feels, and it's just amazing. That's a quality that I really appreciate in a friend, is someone that you can be honest with, that can be honest with you. I just love her so much. We were in Charleston for the Creators and Friends trip, and we're like walking back from getting coffee, and I'll put the Instagram picture. I had my brunch dress on, and we're just like walking, and all of a sudden I was a little bit ahead of her, and she's yelling, "Kelly, wait, come here." So I go back, and she's like, "This is great for a picture. Stand right here, turn this way, put your leg out, tilt your chin down, do this, do that." And she took the picture, and she did an amazing job. But I just love her so much, and I am excited to try this REM product. I think it looks beautiful. Look at that glow. You didn't steer me wrong, Angie. Thank you. Before we jump into the eyes, I do want to set my face. I normally use my Fix Plus and I spray it before I do eyes, but I reached out to Amanda Z. She is someone who I met on the Creators and Friends trip. I was not familiar with her beforehand. I did get to meet her for the first time. She was a gem. We didn't get to spend a ton of time together, but we did chat a little bit, and she actually is one of those people that I feel like is funny without being funny. When we were trying to film reels and stuff, it was just, I have clips of like these outtakes of Kelsey holding up her phone, like ready to do the reel where we were showing our favorite product, and like her and Amanda just had to do a couple takes. It was just hilarious. Amanda was one of those people that was funny without being funny. So I reached out to her and asked her what setting spray she likes, and she said the one from Revolution. So I looked up a few. There were a few from Revolution. This is the one that she likes. It is called Ignite, and it is a mattifying setting spray with 16-hour long wear. I typically wouldn't go for mattifying. There was one from Revolution called the Dewy Spray, but because I feel like setting spray does different things, and Amanda was specific about this one really doing a great job at like locking everything in, I wanted to try it out. Revolution is not an expensive brand. I did pick mine up at Ulta, so I thought if it's not a huge hit or if it's too mattifying, that would be okay. It's, you know, I'm not out like tons of money, so we are going to go ahead and try this one. What I'm going to do is I'm going to spray it a little. Oh, it sprayed right away. Let me look at the mist. I don't smell anything, and it was a fine mist. Let me just... Okay. It does have a little bit of a hairspray smell, I would say. And I also have it all over my shirt. So there's that. I mean, that's user error, but it was a nice fine mist. It doesn't feel sticky. Sometimes I spray my Fix Plus, and I always get it all over myself. But the Fix Plus can sometimes be a little bit sticky. This does not feel sticky on me. It definitely is not giving any kind of dew or glow, which I didn't expect it to because it said that it was mattifying. But it dried down quickly, and we'll see if it locks in my makeup. Moving into the eyes, I reached out to my friend Karen Harris for eye primer. I had a hunch at what she was going to suggest because watching her videos, I see her use it all the time. It is the Sigma Eye Base in Ignite. She recommended this to me. I actually received this in PR from Sigma, and I have been using this as my eye primer as well. So I already had this. I like it because it is very creamy, but it also gives me a nice base on the eyes. It covers up like any discoloration or veining that I have. The only thing is it is a little bit of like a yellow tone on me. I'm pretty sure Ignite is their lightest, but I almost wish there was maybe one that was a little bit lighter or not as yellow. But I do really enjoy this one as well. Karen was not on the Creators and Friends trip, but she was supposed to be. And I was really looking forward to meeting her. She actually was the one who talked to me about the trip first when she was telling me about it on Polo. And I was super excited because I thought we were going to get to meet each other. She also has 2 young children, 2 girls. And so she was having her second daughter. And that's why she was not able to join us. But I am hopeful that Karen and I will get to meet each other in person soon because I love chatting with her. We talk about motherhood, we talk about YouTube, we talk about all kinds of things. So next up is an eyeshadow palette, and I knew right away. I knew immediately when I was thinking about this video that I was going to use my girl Heather Austin's collab with Unearthly, the Resurgence palette. I keep the little plastic things. I do have a full video on this palette here. How can I do this without blinding you? Let me put it over here. Okay, I do have a full video using this, but I definitely want to use it again. I want to dip into it again. I want to create another look. I think I want to use this shade down here in Transformation, which when I look at it here, it's like a blue brown, and then when I look at it this way, it's like a purple. It's beautiful. So I am excited to use this one today. Heather is another one of my closest friends here in the beauty space. We talk on Marco Polo all the time. When I went out to meet Angie in Austin, Heather was there, and then Heather and Angie came out here to Houston, and we got to hang out at the Creators and Friends trip, and we already have stuff in the works to be reunited again. But I love her so much, so I was super excited for this collab for her. I know Unearthly is a brand that she loves so much, and I've heard her talk about so much, so I was excited to see this kind of come to life for her. What I'm going to do is I think I'm going to use this. Is this the one I want to use? Or do I want to use my Singe? Maybe I want to use my Singe Beauty brush. Singe Beauty is a brand created by Angelica Nyqvist, Angie. She has her own brush line, so super exciting. I'm going to use my Singe E03, and I don't remember who I saw do this, but someone did it, where they were tapping between blue and pink Cosmology and Nymph, tapping between both to kind of create a purple. So that's what I'm going to do. Ooh, yeah. You can see the purple here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just stamp this in place. And I may need to go like back and forth. Like right now it's looking heavy on the blue. So I'm going to get a little bit more pink. Kind of blend it in. And I'm going to keep this in my crease. I'm using this brush from Singe because it's nice and fluffy, but also deposits the pigment where I want it to. So I want to keep this right in the crease, and I want that like purple vibe. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the Cerambus shade right here, and I'm going to take my BK201. I'm just using my Sigma switch in between to clean off my brushes, and Cerambus is this light purple shade, so I'm going to use that just kind of like in the outer edges to soften them up a bit. I'm taking this Sigma pencil brush and going again into the blue and the pink to try and like create a little purple situation. And I'm gonna focus it just on the outer third of the eye, and then I'm gonna go in with Cerambus and a clean one, a clean pencil brush, and go over that as well, just to kind of blend everything together. So I'm actually gonna use this Singe, is this what I'm gonna use? Yeah, this Singe EO5 and Cerambus, and just kind of blend the outer edges of this shadow. Gotta tell you, this look is much bolder than I normally do. Going outside my comfort zone here. But I know my girl Heather is a color lover, so this palette is definitely full of beautiful, shifty, sparkly shades and full of color. I'm excited to see the look come together. Going in with my Sigma E55 eye shader brush. I don't think I typically use this one, but we're gonna give it a go. And I'm going to go in with Transformation right here. And of course I'm gonna spray it with Fix Plus like I always do. But this brush feels a little bit more dense. We have a little pink, a little purple. Give it a little spritz. Moment of truth, here we go. Look at this beautiful shade. Is it purple? Is it blue? Is it pink? Is it all of the above? One way I thought of using this, and I could have dialed it down a little bit and done it this way, is just to take the pink nymph and put that all through the crease and then put this on the lid. And I think it would have made it look not as deep, but I really like it with like the blue purple. I think it looks so pretty. So then I'm going to go in with this small tapered blending E45 from Sigma, and I'm gonna go into this white shade right here in Life. Normally I use my finger, but I wanna see what it looks like with a little brush. I feel like it dials it down a little bit. This shade is beautiful also, right there on the inner corner. With my finger, I'll get a little bit more like opaque sparkles, but I'm not really necessarily looking for like opaque sparkles, but more of like a light sheen, and this is beautiful with these shades. Okay, so here's the look with Heather's palette. I have a whole dedicated video if you want to hear more about it, but of course I reached out to Heather and said, girl, can I use you for eyeshadow? Can I use your palette? She said, absolutely. So then we have mascara. For mascara, I reached out to the beautiful Hannah Louise Poston, who I met on the Creators and Friends trip. She recommended a couple mascaras, but one from a brand I was not familiar with, and it was Make Beauty. And yeah, it says Make right here. It is the Lash Prototype. She also said the e.l.f. Big Mood, which I just heard her mention in a video, but I went with the Make Beauty one. So we're gonna go ahead and use it. I know she did tell me right off the bat, it is more of like a wet formula. So I feel like that's one of those where you kind of need to use it a couple times, and I have used it a couple times. So I think this is like my third or fourth use. I met Hannah for the first time at the Creators and Friends trip, and I had heard of her before, but I didn't know too much about her, other than I know people were mentioning that, oh, I need a mirror closer up, that she did a no-buy year. I know she was like, I don't know if she was the originator of a no-buy year, but I know that she is known for her no-buy year. So I was excited to meet her in person. Didn't know too much about her. She is pregnant right now, but I did get to chat with her. She was super sweet. We got to celebrate with her because she did recently hit 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, which is amazing. And I did get to chat with Hannah when we were in Charleston, but I also had perhaps like a more in-depth, I don't want to say more meaningful, but like more personal conversation via DM when we came back. And you know, like I mentioned, I was kind of notorious for like pumping the whole time that we were on our trip, and she is pregnant, expecting her baby soon. And so she was asking me a little bit about my journey and my experience there as a nursing mom, and that conversation actually really stuck with me and meant so much to me. And I was so glad that Hannah and I had an opportunity to like have that moment together and spend a little bit more time talking via DMs. She was super sweet. She was so kind. We were at dinner at Church and Union, and she was sitting like diagonally across from me, and I was sitting next to Khaki, and I like looked over for a minute and just like a quick double take. I was like, holy cow. I turned to Khaki and I said, doesn't Hannah look like Jennifer Lawrence? And she was like, what? I was like, doesn't she look like Jennifer Lawrence? Like, she was definitely giving me J-Law vibes. And I love Jennifer Lawrence. I think she's amazing. I think she's beautiful. I love her so much. But I definitely feel like Hannah gives me J-Law vibes. So here are my lashes with the Make Beauty mascara. I think it's good. I don't think it really did anything to like blow me away, but like I said, I haven't used it a ton yet. I typically am a mascara layer though. Like I like to do a volumizing mascara and then I go in with a second mascara and kind of like lengthen. So I am going to take my Benefit roller lash, and I feel like the bristles of the roller lash, like this thing, kind of help to separate my lashes. So I'm just going to give an extra coat of the roller lash to kind of separate and lengthen. Okay, so now we're on to lips, and for the lip category, I reached out to the beauty influencer who I have known in this space the longest, and it is Samantha March. I reached out to her because we do have similar taste in like lip colors, and also our very first collab video that we did way back when, maybe like 2016, 2017, something like that, was actually like a lip video. I think it was like our favorite lipsticks or something like that. So I thought it would be fun to reach out to her to get her favorite lip combo, and she actually gave me several, and I did have 3 of the products. I have a lip liner, lipstick, and lip gloss. So for the lip liner, it is the Charlotte Tilbury Iconic Nude, which I did get on Samantha's recommendation. I can't talk in line. Let me line really quick. So I love this shade. I love the Charlotte Tilbury formula. I've gone through Pillow Talk, so now I have Iconic Nude. Absolutely love it. Definitely got that on Sam's recommendation, but she also, Charlotte Tilbury, inspired me to pick up the Very Victoria shade. Now, I do think she also told me about Natasha Denona, Noah, and I have that one, and I think that would look really cool with this look as well. But for the gloss, I wanted to go in with this lipstick shade in Very Victoria. Very Victoria is like a beautiful shade. I feel like it's a quick, easy, like go-to shade for me. Goes with a variety of looks. I feel like it looks great with this look here. And then to top it off, of course, I had to use her collab with Ofra Cosmetics. This is the lip gloss in Queen after her dog Aries. Samantha was supposed to, of course, go on the Creators and Friends trip because her and Simbri put this trip together. But Sam was not able to last minute because of stuff that was going on with Aries. She talked about it on her channel, on her Instagram. And so I did want to, of course, use this gloss in honor of her dog, Aries. I have watched Sam and Aries for years. I consider Sam a friend. I love Aries, and in her honor, I thought this lip gloss would look good with this color combo. And we got to get a little bit of Aries in here. We, of course, were disappointed when Sam could not make the trip, but we all completely understood. She had more important things to take care of than going on this girls trip with us, but she was definitely missed. I know I personally was really looking forward to meeting her because, like I said, she was I think one of the very first, if not the very first person that I ever connected with in the beauty space. She was the first person I ever collabed with on YouTube. I went to Vegas right before I got pregnant with Quentin, my husband and I, and I tried to meet up with Sam while we were there, but that was when she was going on a trip to California while I was coming in town, and so of course I was excited to meet her on Creators and Friends, and that did not work out, but I am hopeful, fingers crossed, that next year in 2024 we will be able to finally meet in person, because like I said, she has been my first friend here in the beauty space. So with that, the look is done here. No telling what my hair looks like with these little things in them since my hair was wet. But I am going to go ahead and zoom out, fluff my hair up, zoom out, and wrap up the video. Okay, so with that, this is the finished look. I do have a tank top on underneath. I just have big wavy Texas hair at the moment, but if you did enjoy this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I know I had fun playing with some of my favorite beauty influencers' favorite products. It was a fun twist. Thank you, Kelly, Sam, and Angie, for this fun video idea. Definitely check out their videos if you like videos like this. Thank you to all of my content creator friends who played along with me, gave me some of your recommendations. I will probably do a follow-up video just because there were so many products that were new to me, so I think it would be fun to kind of test them out more and follow up and give you my thoughts. But if you enjoy this video, listen, I can do another one like it. I can ask more people to give me some makeup recommendations. Just let me know down below. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you're subscribed before you go. That way I can see you in the next one. Bye.